Now, last week was pretty interesting as we got the first official reveal of the PlayStation 5 specs and what Sony is looking at for the console whenever it comes out next year. But reliable insiders have been saying for quite some time now that the next-gen Xbox Anaconda, is more powerful than the PlayStation 5. Like it or not. What's going on, guys? Randall Thor 19, the man with the million, back again with another video. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Now, last week was pretty cool. Got the official specs from the PlayStation 5, although no information about what you would really want to hear about. Clock speed on the CPU, teraflops on the GPU, the type of RAM it is using. It was more put out there to remind its user base that, hey, we're still making a next-gen PlayStation because we know you're going to hear about that Xbox Anaconda and Lockhart in less than 50 days at Xbox's E3 2019 press conference. But it seems that momentum is gathering. More and more people are talking about the fact that it seems that, according to multiple insiders, which is no surprise if you've been following this channel, that the Xbox 2 is going to be more powerful than the PS5. This time, journalist Ainsley Bowden, sorry if I said that name wrong, is citing multiple insiders and has said that the next-gen Xbox will be more advanced than the PlayStation 5. Of course, what that exactly means isn't really clear, but it suggests that the more powerful and perhaps be more feature-loaded than Sony is cooking up, which, what did they actually announce? Backwards compatibility with the PS4, which is great, we know, or at least we can assume Xbox will have the same thing. The SSD load times are 19 times faster than the PlayStation 4. Sony really crowed about the 8K resolution as well as ray tracing. Now I imagine those same things will be available in Xbox Anaconda. And I'm sure you're asking the same question that I did when reading about this story. How reliable is the information and how reliable is the source? Well, Bowden notes that his sources are quote-unquote known sources and have provided accurate leaks for years. So in other words, he isn't hearing this from some random 4chan poster or someone on Reset Era. These are known Xbox insiders who have given accurate information in the past. And quite frankly, it's really no surprise that Xbox will have a more powerful console. Ever since they announced the Xbox One X in 2016 and released it in 2017, even Phil Spencer got up on stage last year at E3 and said they want to set the benchmark for what a console can do moving forward. So I'm not surprised by any of this information. You know, I've been covering it for quite some time, and I know, or at least I have a pretty damn good feeling that Xbox Anaconda will be more powerful than the PlayStation 5. But in what ways? Will ray tracing be better implemented on the Anaconda? Will the load times be faster because they're going to use a better SSD? Are they going to be able to hit 8K more frequently than the PlayStation 5, which I doubt both will be able to do? I'm not really sure. It'll probably come down to clock speed on the CPU. Maybe it'll have a couple teraflops more power on the GPU end. Maybe it'll have more RAM. Who really knows? Because Sony really hasn't given much information about how powerful their system is just yet. But I have a feeling that come E3, Microsoft will provide us with at least more reliable information than Sony has. And when it's all said and done, the Xbox Anaconda will be more powerful. And I think Microsoft needs to do that. There's a question about whether or not power even matters. Of course, power matters, right? In this situation, imagine if the Xbox Anaconda is less powerful than the PlayStation 5. Well, everybody will be crowing about how PlayStation 5 is the most powerful, that they would have the games and the power, so you'd be dumb not to buy it. So Xbox at least has to match the PlayStation 5 power. But even just matching the power of the PlayStation 5 would be a loss for Microsoft, and here's why. Yeah, sure, Microsoft spent a whole bunch of money buying all these first-party developers to make games for next generation and beyond, but we don't know what type of games they're making, when they will come out, or if they'll be any good. So Microsoft needs a feather in their cap, something that they can hang their hat onto. And that's going to be the power of the Xbox 2. The fact that it is more powerful than the PlayStation 5. Because in my opinion, if they were the same, if the PlayStation 5 and Anaconda were exactly the same price, at exactly the same specs, Xbox will undoubtedly lose. Because PlayStation is a more dominant and well-known global gaming brand than Xbox is. So they can't produce the same system and hope for any sort of success. What they need to do is exactly what I think they are doing. Offer a premium Xbox that is more advanced than the PlayStation 5 at a slightly higher cost or same cost. And at the same time, offer a entry-level Xbox to next gen that is significantly cheaper than the alternative PlayStation 5. So that is why, in my opinion, this whole power talk actually does matter. Because if Xbox was the same price as PlayStation, people will choose PlayStation. If it's not as powerful as PlayStation, well then people will just make fun of it and say, why would anybody consider getting an Xbox when PlayStation has it all? But if it's more powerful, that's something Microsoft themselves can hang their hat onto, knowing that the third-party games will run best and look best on their system. It's a selling point for their console that Sony can't advertise. Sure, Sony can come out and say, our first-party games are better, they look better, they run better. Of course. I mean, it's been true for most of this generation. God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Death Stranding, Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, they all look better. And they seem to perform better commercially than any of Xbox's recent games. So that's why Xbox needs to have the power crown. They need to have that in their corner until, of course, these new studios that they bought actually start putting out amazing quality content. But until that time, Xbox needs the power crown. Now, if you ask me, do I believe these rumors? 100% I do. I believe that Xbox Anaconda will be more powerful than the PlayStation 5. In fact, I've seen some quote-unquote things that I can't elaborate on, but it leads me to certainly believe that Microsoft is aiming for having the most powerful console next generation. And I think they need it in this war with PlayStation. They need that feather in their cap. Anyways, guys, that is the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a comment below about all this stuff. Let me know what you think. And if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're new. Share this out on social media. And hit that notification bell if you always want to be notified when I drop new content. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll see everybody in the next video. Later, guys.